Welcome to the first video in Tangram Sneak Peek series. Through this series we're going to be exploring the highlights of either brand new or updated agency management software. Via these videos, agencies can discover the highlights of new look and immersion tools on the market to help run agency businesses. This week we are looking at WorkBook version 9. For those that don't know, WorkBook is a cloud-based ERP system specifically built for agencies. So that means that it basically aims to meet most agency management software requirements within the one tool. That includes quoting, project management, CRM, timeline and resource planning, all the way through to financials. Now, whilst WorkBook has been around for many years, version 9 is their new look interface. So for those who haven't heard about it, a quick 60 seconds on WorkBook. This is our job screen here. You'll see within jobs we have things like briefings, we have a collaboration engine, we have quotes, purchase orders, invoices, and we even have a nice little document file server integration here. The system also has a CRM tool. So in here we might get our pipeline and our revenue forecast. We have timesheets, absence entry, expense entry, and we have a task list, which can come in the form of things like a Kanban view of the tasks that we have on. We can have list view, calendar view, and that's just the choice of the agency. So I want to focus on the three things that really stand out and the key differentiators for WorkBook over some of the other systems on the market. The first one is the briefs. Now, very few systems have a comprehensive briefing engine. Those that do, it's very often a notes field. It just doesn't really have the full functionality that we know agencies need within a briefing tool. WorkBook has really gone against the grain here and it's set up a whole briefing engine. We're able to do things like add templates in. These templates, of course, can be branded. One of the nice things here is that they already load in some of those key bits of data that WorkBook knows. So we've got the client already in here, we've got the campaign, the deliverables, and it means that account services can really just focus on the content of the brief. Next on, we also have a collaboration area against the briefs. So we're able in here to come in, add brief approvers, talk to colleagues about the brief, and talk about the amends that might be needed. We can upload files, we can record audio messages through here, add attachments, etc. We have brief approvals, so we're able to add the relevant approvers to the brief, and we're able to submit this through to approve the approvers directly through the system. Now, of course, they might come back, they might decline, they might add comments, which can all be done. We also have a whole history of those briefing revisions, so we can see every stage of the brief and revert to a previous version if we needed to. So that's one of the big things that really sets WorkBook apart. The briefing engine is available on jobs, but also on tasks as well. The next thing that really stood out for us is the scoping. Within WorkBook, the agencies that use it tend to scope the work within a timeline area. So within here, we can see the key tasks of the project. We can come in and we can either add roles or actual named people directly to this task. And as we're doing that, we're actually building up the budget directly within WorkBook. So down at the bottom, we can see we get sales amounts. Up at the top, we can see the total budget as we're adding it. And this scope of work or this planning can be converted directly into a quotation that you can send out to the client. Now, this is quite a big deal for agencies because this actually means that whilst this is still in a quotation phase, we're actually building up to forecasting capacity based on what we're quoting. So let's take a quick look at that and go to the scheduling tab. And you'll see in the scheduling tab we have this capacity status graph. And what this allows us to look at is how much resource has been planned versus our capacity against billable jobs. So this means they've already been signed off. How much time is planned against those quoting jobs, which are those ones that we've just seen. And of this time, how many hours have we got down here that are actually over capacity? So we can really see whether our quotes are pushing us over capacity. Now, the third and final thing that really sets WorkBook apart from some of the other systems as well, or as a key differentiator, is the payment scheme. Now, what the payment scheme actually contributes to is this is contributing to an agency forecast. So once I've added in my my scope, so I've added in my tasks, I've added in the resources I think I'm going to need, and that's come up with a budget, I transfer that over into my quote, and I actually phase this quote by the months that I'm expecting to take revenue on this quote. So what this means is, over in my forecast graph over here, we're actually getting to see a revenue forecast month by month. We can see how much of it comes from in quotation, so isn't actually yet signed off, how much is in process, and then how much is in these earlier stages, opportunity and leads, which is part of the CRM module. So they're the three key things that we have found that differentiates WorkBook from some of the other systems. And they're definitely some of the highlights in the new V9 system. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.